Yo, 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 yo. What's up? What's up? You tuned into the Dapper Don podcast. It's your boy Dapper Don, as you know. And I don't know what episode this is. I guess let's just call it episode 3. And we're gonna discuss a couple things that happened in the culture, some things that's transpired, some things that's growing, that's needing our attention, that's moving. And movement in the culture is a good thing, right? Because that's what it's all about. Nobody wants to stay the same. Everybody wants to grow, kind of do a little something different. One of the biggest growths we seeing is this Blink 182 and Lil Wayne is going on tour together. And before you say what and who is Blink 182, Blink 182 was this big band. It was, I don't want to say it was a big band, but they were kind of making fun of like all of the pop stars like NSYNC and Backstreet Boys and you name it, whatever. They had some pretty good stuff there. They're going on tour with the punk rock god himself, Lil Wayne. Like Lil Wayne has done just so much for the culture, and he continue to push it. He's pushing it and hanging in there like them dreadlocks he got. He's really hanging in there. All right, well, one thing that's interesting about Blink 182 and Lil Wayne's relationship, this isn't really out of nowhere. Well, you know how Lil Wayne covers himself in tattoos, which kind of chain affected into every rapper covering themselves in tattoos, even their face. He said that he got that from Travis Barker. Travis Barker was the drummer for Blink 182. He even came out with, I believe, like a hip-hop compilation one time. He had a song called Get a Drummer Song. It had Rick Ross on it. You know how that's my favorite rapper. So I would know about that. That's the only song I know of it, but I guess he was going to go to be the white DJ Khaled. I believe that this concert is more for those of us. It's more nostalgic than anything, but it's still a dope opportunity for them to get out there and really just get in front of some people who want to rock out to some oldies. They actually did a smash. It's not called a smash. It's a mashup. It's not a smash up. They mashed up with each other and did a record. They did a Millie. You know a Millie. I know you know a Millie. And a song called What's My Age? What's My Age Again? Pretty much about not wanting to grow up. But anyway, Wayne gave it that rebirth flow on it. You got to see the video. You haven't seen the video. Wayne hit it with the rebirth style. I wouldn't necessarily, went with that combination. Although I don't know what songs they could have done together. I wouldn't have want to done anything particular together, but you never know. To each his own, right? I don't know whatever group I would have went with, because if you go Linkin Park, the lead singer committed suicide, I believe, last year. I can't think of what rock band you could pair up with if you're not going to go Blink 182 and you're talking early 2000s. There used to be a group called Sum 41. I forget what song they had, but I guess they third place as far as I would know. No Fall Out Boy. But they already kind of had one with MGK, if you consider him a hip-hop artist. To each his own. I wondered to myself, who's making money off of this? You think Birdman got a hand in this? Because you can't have that much catalog with a person and then just all of a sudden stop doing business with them, right? You kind of got to still go through them some way. I'm not no entertainment lawyer, but I'm just going to go on a limb and say, you can't just jump up and be like, nah, I'm going to go do my own thing, bro. I'm outie. I don't think it worked. What I know, though. Like I said, I don't know the members by heart. I know one of them used to have a talk show on Fuse. I seen an episode with J. Cole on it. It was kind of funny. Like I said, I knew Travis Barker. Travis Barker, he's a car enthusiast. Once again, he's the person who encouraged Lil Wayne to get covered in tattoos. I don't know if I said that yet. He the one that's who Wayne said he got that idea from. So maybe that's where that connection comes from. Like I said, I don't know who else you would go with. Go with Blink 182. Why not? Like I said, a similar tour to this would have been, I guess, Linkin Park and Jay-Z. That was a pretty similar tour. If I had to name one, I would have probably went with that one. But I think one of the upsides of it is, it's so interesting that when I was growing up, rock and roll and hip hop was distinctively different. And it had a distinctly different group of kids and the way that they dressed. Now this seems so intuitive, right? It seems so natural for them to do it. Because now there's a very thin line between rock and roll and hip hop. All of these rappers kind of got like a singing, harmonizing punk rock style. And that's what they calling gangster music now. That's the shit that's nuts. This is what gangster music sound like, is punk rock. So I get how, that could be an upside too. And I think the downside is it's going to only encourage more of this. I'm a little nostalgic in believing that I want to go one place for my Nas featuring Puff Daddy Hate Me Now and another place for my Linkin Park In the End. But that's just nostalgia. That's just me being a 30-year-old man. Well, like I said, rap does have a lot in common. This is in North America. If you want to check it out, it starts in June. I don't know how long it lasts. To September. That's how long it lasts. It's going to go from June to September. So you can get your tickets now. Let me tell it. But in a bigger news, in a bigger way, in a bigger thing, the one and only Chadwick Boseman is going to be playing the legendary Yasuke. If you don't know who Yasuke is, he was the only recorded black man to be an actual legitimate samurai. Under, I'm finna mess his name up. Nubanga? No, Nubanga? Okay, we just gonna call him ODA. Ode. That's what we're gonna call him. We're gonna call him Ode. Anyway, we're not gonna talk too much on him, but we will say that this came from one of the writers of Narcos, and it's kind of starring Chadwick Boseman, so I'm a little optimistic, I guess. If you don't know about Yasuke, I believe I'm saying that right. The guy that was the writer for Narcos is named Doug. A guy named Doug wrote Narcos. Of course, a guy named Doug wrote that. But anyway, this first black samurai is going to be played by Chadwick Boseman. And apparently he was supposed to be Portuguese. That's what they say. But there's a very good possibility that this brother may not even have been Portuguese at all. He could have been Ethiopian. They said that he had skin like charcoal and was 6 feet tall. Mind you, this was in Japan in 1579. So I don't know how tall Japanese people were in 1579, but if it's any indication now, you could be 5'8" and look 6 feet to these people. Not being funny, not being racist. But that's just a fact. So I don't know how tall it was, but they say he had skin like charcoal. Here's the craziest thing. When he first met this 16th century warlord, do you know what this guy actually asked him to do? Which is completely inappropriate in the workplace. He made him scrub his skin because he thought he had black ink on him. He literally made this man strip down naked and scrub his skin. I know, how disgusting. Well, apparently they became friends. That's a hell of a way to become friends with somebody. It's not my personal way I would start off a friendship, but I mean, hell, he a warlord. I guess he gets to do whatever he wants. I don't want to say a warlord. They call him the unifier. So I'm going to call him that too. I don't know what's his status with people in Japan, so I'm just going to call him the unifier. The unifier ended up getting pretty close with this guy. I guess they're kind of like, you know how John Gotti had black people in the mafia? I guess that's what this kid's like. That's what, I wonder what his real name was before he went there, because he was a grown man when he got there. And I doubt he had this Japanese name when he got there. You know, if he's Portuguese, they say that he could have been Ethiopian. He could even been from Sudan. But they say if he's from Sudan, then he must have been sold into slavery pretty early, because at that time, and I guess still to this day, people in Sudan would mark their face at childhood. So that was kind of the thing that I read up on. Don't quote me on it. That's just what I read. You know, you can read for yourself too. Knowledge is power. What else? But anyway, the more important, now that you got the backstory of this guy. No, that's not even a backstory. So the unifier ended up getting killed. Yeah, they killed him. He got assassinated by some rival group. You know how that goes. His son gets assassinated by the group. But the brother still stayed loyal to the movement. He stayed loyal through and through. And when he actually fell, when he was, I guess, conquered or lost or defeated or whatever word you want to use, when they brought him to the head of the rival gang, you won't believe what they said. They said because he was a black man, he wasn't even human. They considered him an animal. So they said instead of killing him, they're going to send him where animals should go, back into the wild. I'm on the fence about that because, one, I'm glad the brother got to get away. But, I mean, damn. That's a little disrespectful. Although I would have ran off too. I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm going to turn a blind eye to what you just said. I'm going to act like I didn't hear it, and I'm going to get the hell up out of here. But now one thing I was wondering is, how do they expect to adopt this into a movie, right? Because if it becomes a movie, what's the storyline with that? You just go from, what origin do you go with? Do you make him African? Do you make him Portuguese? He has to be a slave. That's the thing that's crazy, right? That is just how crazy slave trade was around this time. It wasn't just North America. It wasn't just the Americas, bro. This was in the Middle East. They were even going out to Japan. It's crazy how far, this slavery stretched. But the brother was tall. They say he was 6 feet tall. He was really dark skinned. So they're going to have Chadwick Boseman play it. Now, I know if they're going to have Chadwick do it and they're going to have a writer from an already successful show, like I said, I'm optimistic for it. I'm expecting to see some better choreography as far as fight scenes go. I'm going to be honest with you. I love the hell out of Black Panther. I went to go see it in theaters. I'm going to need some better fight scenes. You're a samurai now. I kind of gave you a little slack because you were the Black Panther. All right. You're a samurai now. You're going to have to get nice with the sword. So Chadwick confirmed that this is what he was going to do. This is what, the direction he going with his career. And I'm assuming he's fresh off the heels of Endgame too, so it's a lot of momentum. I hope the movie does well. I don't know how I feel about Chadwick Boseman playing every successful black man that ever lived, but I just hope to be good enough at life to where Chadwick Boseman would want to play me one day. That's kind of like, I guess that's the mark now. You used to want to be as good as Tupac. Now you just want Chadwick Boseman to play you in a movie. That's your biggest compliment. Because mind you, he was Thurgood Marshall. He was Jackie Robinson. And he was damn James Brown. Let me be all of that. But there's more royalty to talk about. There's more interesting things to get into. One of the most interesting to me, let me tell it, is the Duchess herself, Meghan. Now everybody's talking about her having a baby. I don't give a damn. I didn't know that she was a duchess. That what caught my attention. I was like, why ain't she a princess? So I briefly look it up. I'm not gonna tell you that I got all the answers. I don't have the answers for you. But what I do know is that apparently you have to be born into the title of princess. Meaning if you was to give her a courtesy title, she can't be Princess Meghan. She can be Princess Henry because I guess Harry's real name must be Henry and he's Prince Henry, so she can be Princess Henry. But she can't be Princess Meghan. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't want to. That's kind of a tough pick, right? And a duchess is better. A duchess is apparently better than being a princess. Duchess of Sussex. That's a pretty fancy title. I wouldn't be mad at that. I'd take being a duke. I would be a duke. So he's a duke, apparently. That's how that all came about. But, yeah, that's the reason why. If you want to call her princess, it's Princess Harry or Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. But whatever it is, she got some status. She got some real things going for her. Now, speaking of somebody who didn't marry into power, who didn't marry into success, let's talk about 6ix9ine's girlfriend. Apparently, the now incarcerated MC, who everybody, and I want to speak on this real quick. A lot of people going in on 6ix9ine about snitching on all of those brothers that he had just met a few years ago. This is why I don't care. Nor do I'm not a fan of him. I'm not a fan of any of his music whatsoever. But what I don't like is the fact that all of these brothers helped parade around this, I believe he was Mexican, but this Latino kid, right? They helped parade around this Latino kid to all of these black men who he himself would never disrespect out of fear of someone attacking them. But they lent their size and strength for the sake of fame and a little money. They allowed this little Latino kid to go into our community and disrespect everybody. I don't care what set you claim. You're supposed to be a black man first. I look at that as selling out. Not only that, but you did it under the title of blood. Like the only street gang that was supposed to mean, oh, we're blood, we're kin of my kin, flesh of my flesh, right? And you let this kid run around telling every black man he can find the SMD. You didn't see him do that to anybody that looked like him that I know of. I didn't look it up. But that I know of, he didn't do that to anybody who looked like him. He ran around shitting on all of us. You let him do it. Your turn now. What do you think was going to happen? You think he respects you? He gives a damn about you? Whatever. Your call. But the reason I'm bringing him up today is because apparently his girlfriend, I don't know, I didn't bother to get her name. Don't really care what her name is. She got a tattoo of him on her shoulder. It's supposed to be a tattoo of his face. This girl comes out and talks about the tattoo looks like Chris Brown. Listen, I don't know if you've seen the tattoo. She's trying to make herself feel better. The thing looked like a meth addict. I guess maybe she thinks that's what Chris Brown looks like. I wouldn't have went with it. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. Clearly, the money ain't rolling in over there because a tattoo is not the place to cut corners. If you're going to cut corners anywhere, don't do it on the tattoo. That's wise words for you. But once again, that just show how disrespectful they are, man. How much they didn't care about the culture, because she gladly showing Danny around like he all gravy. I can't get down with it. So apparently 50 Cent and Young Buck is beefing too. I don't know if y'all want to get into that or not. This is just some old beef. Apparently, Young Buck is mad at 50 because he's taking some legal steps against him. I don't know what legal steps. Buck don't really seem like the type of person that's going to fare well in court. And I don't think 50's any better, but I think Buck should have just kind of let this one go. I would have let this one just fly under the radar. It happens. You had sex with a tranny. You're not the first gangster to have sex with a man. You ain't the first inmate to have sex with a man. You done got out of prison. You got turned out. That happens, bro. He's still spitting. He still got all the bars in the world. That's let me tell you. He still got all the bars in the world. But that's just what comes with being the man with the sauce, being the man with the plan. Oh, I guess. I don't know who else in Nashville there is to care about. There's Starlito, but aren't him and Buck beefing? I don't know. I don't listen to him. But what I've been hearing from Buck lately, like always, just has a certain level of hunger to it, has a certain level of aggression to it. And maybe because I'm not getting it anywhere else, it feels refreshing. But I'm all the way with it. I'm all the way looking for more of it. Hopefully they get all of that together. One person who needs to get a lot of stuff together, though, is I was watching an interview with the famous rapper by the name of Boosie, right? And they were talking about tricking. And I guess it started from Too Short talking about, a man, paying for it, negotiating versus him, talking a girl out of her drawers is different. And I was agreeing with him all the way up until he said something interesting. He was like, I don't think flying a girl out, housing her and doing all that is tricking. I disagree. If your macking was so tight, why you couldn't get a girl that lived by you? Or get her to pay for her own ticket? So the whole debate was, they were talking about guys who were paying for it versus them saying that, well, there's just a lifestyle that they have and a woman just comes into it. And if she's in it, she just gets the benefit of it. I still feel like that's tricking. This is my definition, and I'm not gonna get too deep involved. But what I feel like, any money spent outside of courtship, meaning if you're not courting a woman for a relationship, you're not looking for anything, you're looking for something deeper, like a real intimate love, then any money spent is an investment. But outside of that, any money that you spend just to get with this woman, you're bugging. I want to say you bugging. I don't want to say you bugging because, hell, I done it. But what I mean by you bugging is, it's tricking. Don't fool yourself. And I mean any money. Any money you use to gain influence over her decision, to me, is tricking. If sex is your only regard. And that's including, like, let's say you in the VIP. You know, it's a lot of pretty girls in there. So you spent $600 to get the VIP booth, right? Now you're going to spend another $1,500 on bottles. Tell me if there was no women in that room, there was no pretty girls to impress, you would have still spent that money. You wouldn't even have showed up that night. You spent all that money to impress women and gain influence. The money you spend on tricking out your cars or anything else, I'm kind of leaning, with cars, I'm leaning on the side of not necessarily being tricking, because cars are a man's passion. But would you really want to pull that car out if there weren't no pretty girls out, right? You want to be seen. These things are to gain influence, especially if you're flying out. So I don't see how you can say because you're not directly handing her money that's not tricking. Because end of the day, once you get what you want, you gonna fall back from her. It's not like you and her got a thing. If you and her got a thing going on, then by all means, you're right, brother. You spending money on somebody you care about. That's just a part of adulthood. But I don't think that's why these brothers doing it. I don't think that's why they spend all their money to lease jewelry and buy these cars and fly these girls out and you Instagramming. It's a part of you using money to separate yourself from the rest of her options. It's the best way to spend money. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that's better than game. Here's why I say that that's better than game. Because game is you kind of chasing a woman's validation. You giving her in the driver's seat. Everything that's special about you is based upon what she feels. You leaving a lot of your confidence and a lot of your self-esteem on an external thing. And you're probably doing that because you're empty on the inside. I doubt that brothers who go from woman to woman to woman to woman is just feeling fulfilled in life. It's an addiction like anything else. And a lot of times you have to become a manipulative person. And I think anything that starts to alter your behavior is a vice. So I would rather you spend that money at the VIP, because to get money, you got to be of value. And you have to level up. And if that's how you're going to do it, if that's your motivation for leveling up, if that's your why for improving yourself, then by all means. But like I said, I feel like it's still all tricking. It might not just all fall under the same category, the same way. But that's just my take on things that I've seen. You know, you're doing this every Tuesday and Thursday. I'm going to try to keep them within a 30-minute span. Just shoot off a couple things that I've seen throughout the day. You know, leave a comment. Let me know what it is that you want to hear, what you want to talk about, what other things you want to discuss. Until then, it's your boy, Dapper Don Des. You have tuned into the Dapper Don